Let's see. Oh, that's perfect. That's brilliant. Oh, it looks so good, actually.
How's the back look?
I don't know. They can't hear us, so no, it's good. Just take a seat, and we're ready to rock and roll here. Look, it looks good. It looks really good, even with your background accoutrement.
I want to. No, it looks good.
It's fine.
I'm not gonna mess with it.
Gets the job done, especially for this half-assed
Wow. Okay.
wheeling and dealing deal with the
It
devil.
looks better than it normally does.
I'll fix that as we kind of refine this. Before we jump in on the intro, so we just
Sorry
had
for
an
this
emergency.
weird
Our
setup.
camera completely just died on us.
And would somebody please let us know if you can hear us?
Yes, we would love a sound check in the audience.
Just let us know, typey
once
before
we start the
before we
spiel.
really get things started here.
And let me do a little test to make sure. Okay, we're testing in the chat.
Testing in the
That's
chat.
good.
So can you hear us?
Preston said loud and clear. Welcome to the show, bud.
Fantastic. All
Yeah,
right, you
so
ready?
our
Here we go.
camera just died.
I'm going to give us a cold start so I can cut all of that weird prep.
Unique New York.
All that weird prep. That's my spittoon. This is for playing. All right, here we go. 3.
And welcome to the Barrel Buddies. I'm James.
And I'm BJ. Welcome back to your weekly booze news and reviews with us, the Barrel Buddies. That was fun. I like that. No practice. And we both were right on.
Great.
I loved it. What a fun new camera we've got set up
Wow,
tonight.
yeah. So I just, quick goat thinking and was like, let's get a new camera going. Yeah, and it looks pretty damn good.
Greatest of all time. Quick greatest of all time thinking. I agree. Good job.
So it was very, very improv. Was it improv? We improvised that one.
We adapt. No, in the true form of Bear Grylls, we adapted, we improvised, and we overcame.
We ate the yellow snow, and what are those weird shit he eats on the show?
Overcame. What's up, Cora, the bourbon dog?
Bourbon dog comes on over. Come on, Cora.
You want to come over and say hi?
Yeah, come on over here and say hi to everybody.
There's a big barrel in the middle of the way. But,
oh yeah, that's okay.
But you can kind of see her
face in the background here. Anyway,
well, welcome to the Barrel Buddies. Well, glad to be back. This is 2 weeks in a row. We're doing good.
I know we're back in a rhythm.
We're back into a rhythm. Preston, thanks for joining in with us, and for the 3 of you who are joining us for our live show. Thank you for being here.
For joining
That's
us
our
today.
3 solid watchers. We really appreciate it.
In all fairness, I think during our break, we were on a upward. I was going to say upward spiral. It's the opposite. It's
we were on
spiral.
An upward spiral.
We were on a wonderful incline. Let's put it like that.
Okay, sure.
Where I think at one point or another, we had like 20, 30, 40, 50 people watching the show during the show.
We got to get back
the
to
live
that.
show. And then when we took our break,
we lost all that momentum.
We lost the momentum, unfortunately, and you kind of have to start from scratch again,
It's
which is okay because it doesn't matter. Because thankfully, to all of you out there, we're already monetized and we don't lose that.
Thank God.
So we don't care.
Thank you.
We don't care if we get 1 or 5 or 5,000.
We do care.
We do care. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal.
So
Chris Conrad loved that puppy. Thank you. Cora says hello.
And hey, Chris Conrad.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's check in on the baby barrel here. How's baby barrel doing?
Yeah, I mean, as you guys can kind of take a look at from the video there, it's doing all right. I don't think we're going to do a taste test this week, especially after we chatted with Preston on the last week's show. We wanted in there probably for another, I think 6 weeks total was what we for a 5 liter barrel.
I think another test next week.
Next week we'll do another test.
Gives us close to the 6-month aging.
And it's getting darker. Like the entire barrel.
Oh, she's really dark this week. Yeah, I noticed the color change.
It's starting to really change.
It's a dark dark color. Yeah.
And you can't, maybe from the side you can see it a little bit better. Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good look. You can
really see
how the
color.
staves have really taken on the mead inside that barrel.
Yeah, and look at that whole top part and some of the seams there is really starting to get dark from the mead.
Have you been rotating it? Have you been hand turning it?
So I haven't, because here's what I did. We put in the 3 liter, and that obviously didn't fill it up.
Right.
I had 2 more bottles of CYPM in the garage that I I loaded it up with.
So you added another 700.
So another
750?
1,400 milliliters.
Okay.
So it's now like probably like 200 milliliters shy. It's probably up to here.
But you've been losing. I mean, you are naturally losing to evaporation. So
and absorption. We probably should do a little jostle. How does it feel when you put your hand on the? Ooh, it's a little sticky there.
It's a little moist. Yeah, it's a little moist. It might be worth a turn. Maybe not all the way inverted, but maybe on its side a little bit.
It's really good, actually. Oof. Anyway. Well, that's kind of the update on the barrel.
Good update.
As you all know, this is going out to you all. So
update.
Preston says, don't forget, mead evaporates pretty slowly. So thank you.
This is true. I mean, it is jammy and thick, and so it's not.
If anything, it's just really getting into that barrel. So hopefully we're not losing too much. And honestly, the longer the better. I could care less. At the end of the day, whatever happens to the mead is insignificant, because what matters is the Frey Ranch that's going to go into this. Where I do enjoy that we have two products that will come out of this barrel. I'm okay that if we lose the mead, or if the mead wasn't optimal, I guess is the best way to put it. Because that Frey Ranch is going to be freaking incredible. I already know this. Ahead of time. Can you imagine how ridiculous this is going to be?
It's not going to be ridiculous, sir. It's going to be
back me up.
It's going to be
ridiculous. It is going to be out of hand.
It's going to be
Frey
ridiculous.
Ranch. I cannot wait. And look how dark some of these bottles are.
Oh, yeah.
I know you can't really see it that well.
We're going to need some Boston Browns to keep some samples of each individual one that you pour in, just so we can be like, hey, here's what was it we did? And we should cuvee.
No.
We should cuvee a before and after barreling.
Yes. Here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to taste all of them before they go into the barrel, and we're going to make it a show.
Oh, that's a good call.
That's what we're going to do.
Woo!
So that's going to be a big show. That's probably going to be an hour show.
Oh, I can feel my collar tightening already.
I know, because these are heavy hitters. We'll start at like 6:30. So we'll do like a 6:30 to 7:30, and we'll post it. Don't worry, Barrel Buddies. So you guys will
have a nice bottle. I mean, I guess we can have a Frey Ranch bottle that we can use. Actually, I already see the one that I think you should use as your Infinity Frey Ranch bottle.
Which one?
I think you should use the UNR special release.
The UNR special release bottle is pretty awesome.
That's a cool bottle.
That is a cool bottle,
and it's my alma mater, so I'm.
Yeah, even better.
I'm partial.
Even better.
All right. So let's get into some tasting. What are we doing tonight? What are we sampling tonight?
Well, I want to reflect, first of all, and say how disappointed I was on last week's Buffalo Trace Oaky Bomb that we had from that 2019 Total Wine
It was
pick.
supposed to be an easy slide back into bourbon.
It was not good.
It was
tough. It was terrible.
It was hard.
It was a bad bottle. Shame on you, bottle Nazi. Shame on you, whoever at Total Wine picked that bottle. And Preston, I think Preston knows that guy. I'm not going to say his name. Don't you dare say the guy's name.
I wasn't going to say a word.
He doesn't work there anymore at this Total Wine. We're not even going to name the Total Wine we're talking about. But there was one particular
at this point.
person that was probably the strictest of them all that thought whiskey cured cancer, basically. And, you had to be on a special list to get a bottle. And I'm pretty sure I smoked them once when I picked up like 3 old school Total Wine Desert Jewels. And it was one of his interns that sold them to me. And I was walking out the store, and he saw them, and then he flipped out.
It's not
I'm pretty sure that's
not the cigars that you smoke that's going to give you cancer. It's all the steaks and bourbon you have that's going to give you cancer.
Anyway. And what was the point of this? Oh, how bad!
It was so bad. So what are we having tonight, Jimmy?
So, what we have lined up and what we have on deck, one of the bottles that I despise the most,
but you shouldn't.
That I loathe, that I
Heaven Hill product
is utterly despicable.
It's absolutely wonderful, and there's 2.
Mellow corn.
I feel like there's 2 bottles that a bartender knows are magical.
You're going to say Mellow corn and Fernet.
Correct.
Yes.
A real bartender knows that there's 2 magical
Branca
bottles.
or Menthe.
Branca.
Yes.
Fernet
Menthe is like toothpaste. I cannot do
Fernet and Mellow corn. If you ever want to make friends with a bartender and you're going to buy a bartender a drink, if you ever tell your bartender, I'll buy you a shot of Fernet or a shot of Mellow Corn, they will love you forever.
Preston says, is Malort better than Mellow Corn? Here's the thing.
And if you have a really cool bartender, then they also like Malort.
We're going to get on the level with Malort. Malort is overrated on its gag factor. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
How do you say that better? It's over exaggerated how bad it is.
Well, here's why. It's because it's like somebody brought Malort to Sesame Street by putting it on Instagram. It's like, hey,
pretty much,
we brought Malort to Sesame Street. Elmo, take a shot. And then you see all these people who are like, "Gah, gah," and you got the Malort face. If you are an experienced drinker, then Malort's not so bad. It's kind of like when you go testing all of the Coca-Cola products.
It's like a grapefruit Amaro.
Beverly, like right?
It's not even
Beverly's not that bad either. Yeah, it's delightful.
It's not terrible. And it just, I don't know. I think it's like durian, right? I think durian is one of those things that like some people love and some people hate. If you have a refined palate and you know how to pick the things out. No, because I think Malort, while it is the collected piss water from Wrigley Stadium, aged in black trash bags in Chicago, like old jerseys, and squeeze them out
that you boil hot dogs in.
Ooh, yeah,
and then put in a barrel or a steel cask, and then call it Malort.
Gross,
it's delightful.
Gross, but facts. That's what you get for living in a scumbag city with a bunch of scumbag baseball teams.
Hey. We love Chi-Town.
All right, we're joking here. We're joking here. We're very neutral here on the show.
But
we take no sides.
For all the crap that we've just given it, Mellow Corn, it's 100% corn whiskey. It's 100% straight corn whiskey. So this isn't a mash bill of 51% corn and 70% whatever your other blends of barley and rye, or winter wheat and rye and barley. This is 100% corn. Comes in at 50% alcohol, 100 proof. And of course, it does come in from our friends at Heaven Hill. And I think Heaven Hill provides some delightful products. One of my favorite, Evan Williams.
Indeed.
Right? That's a delightful Heaven Hill product. Regular Heaven Hill, delightful
Evan
product.
Williams is one of my all-time favorites. It is one of my favorite airport lounge go-tos because it's always at an airport lounge.
Good pantry
whiskey. Can get Evan Williams Black at pretty much any airport lounge on the East and West Coast that I've been to.
And another fine Heaven Hill product, the Old Fitzgerald.
I love Old Fitz. Right? However, Old Fitz up to... I don't like 14-year and older.
And my thing about Mellow Corn, and while you say, oh, I hate Mellow Corn, you know what? Pouring it straight out of the bottle, I agree. It's not the greatest thing. It's
you're really backpedaling here now.
It's barrel-aged corn whiskey. It's very sweet.
Good.
It's sweet, creamy, delicious corn. I like it. But you know what makes it better? Doing what we did prior to the show, which is pouring it out and allowing it to decant a little bit like you would a fine wine, to open up, to take a little air, to let a little ethanol off of the face.
And then
this becomes delightful.
Preston goes, do I have some Evan Williams Hazmat for you to try? What?
Excuse me?
How does they make Hazmat? How does that even work? Well, we took some Shine, some Everclear, and we aged that in a barrel for 6 months and dumped that and put in some Evan Williams 1783.
Just take the nose on that. Just take. I mean, it smells like sweet cream.
It's not bad. It is kind of sweet corn. I want to go over Heaven Hill's description. So, Mellow Corn is produced. This is heavenhilldistillery.com. Mellow Corn is produced in accordance with a unique set of regulations that define straight corn whiskey. It is distilled from a mash of at least 80% corn and aged for 4 years in once-used bourbon barrels. So think of Dickel in, what is it? They call it secondary.
Secondary, yep.
No. They the term for reusing a bourbon barrel, there's like a special term for that. Shit, what's it called? Now we're gonna have to look it up.
A once-used barrel?
No.
Wow.
or somebody in the chat.
We'll have
knows
to edit this out
No. They called it
because
something
we look
different.
terrible
They
right
called
now.
no. I think it's on the Dickel bottles where it's like repurposed. It's not repurposed, but it's like that's what the word is. It's like they don't like using once used bourbon barrels. Like it doesn't say that on the bottle. And I don't know that Barrel Select says it. It's something, it's like it's something cooperage. I think it's something cooperage. Anyway, don't fret too much over it before we go down that Dickel rabbit hole. So he said he turned it hazmat as it sat in a barrel, and to keep them wet, a 3-liter barrel aged for 15 months. Loss was over half.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
Oh, wow.
How does it taste?
I bet you it tastes sweet and delightful.
Anyway, so compared to the deep amber color created by the newly charred oak barrels in the production of our other bourbons and whiskeys, this resulted in... the result of a used barrel is a lighter straw-colored spirit. Heaven Hill Distillery is one of the few remaining producers of this unique mellow corn straight corn whiskey. It won the 2015 Best American Whiskey Award by the World Whiskey Awards. It won the WSWA. Is that the show we go to?
That
WSWA?
is the one, the WSWA. We like that.
Won double gold in 2014. And then won the San Francisco World Spirits Competition gold in 2010. So a lot of has-been awards there for good old Mellow Corn.
Stop it. Those are very respectable awards.
There you go. There you go.
Very respectable. Very sweet. Very nice. But again, I think that allowing it to open up a little bit and take a little air prior to consuming makes it a much more enjoyable spirit.
I want to get into this and stop talking.
Once again, just for those who don't know, if you haven't been with us for a little bit, I've got some things going on where I can't drink. He's
doing the classic spittoon.
So I have to taste and spit.
Thanks. Shout out to Aaron at Smoke Wagon because he does that. Think about Aaron, right? He's sitting there blending barrels all day long. You can't get ripped at 8 o'clock in the morning. So you got to do your little barrel, your little spittoon here. But it works. He still gets the full essence of it all.
See, I think that's really nice because
it's not bad that you let it air out.
You have to.
I'm going to give you...
Because
I'm going to give you some kudos for that.
Yeah. I've drank my share of Mellow Corn because I do like it. I like it out of the barrel or out of the bottle. But I think that allowing it to take a little air just makes this so delightful.
It's not amazing. For what is it? $20 the bottle?
$15.
Maybe
it's moved up to 18 and now it's 20 with tax.
Heaven Hill could rebrand it and repackage it and call it something different and put a $30 price tag on it and double their revenue.
Oh, yeah. I think that's saying something. I think that says you like it better than you'd admit.
I would agree. It has more potential than what it carries more weight than what it's worth. I think is a good way to put it.
And I wonder if you could barrel finish Mellow Corn and do a better finished whiskey with it.
The problem is it's 80 proof.
Yeah.
So it's only 40%.
Yeah.
So then what do you ramp it up with without... It's already kind of light and delicate. So how do you...
I would match it with light and delicate. Here's what I would do.
What do you think?
I've got a little barrel at home that's ready to go.
Cream corn in the barrel.
That's weird, but I'm not
5
opposed.
cans of cream corn.
I was going to take Crown Vanilla.
I think it's too overpowering. I was on that. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking like a Crown Peach.
Oh, that would be delightful
vanilla
too.
Like, I think the peach might complement that.
That could be good. Challenge accepted. I've got a little barrel. I've got a little 1 liter.
You could do it. I got a bottle of Crown
Peach.
And
I got it. I'll take care of it. Let me get it rehydrated because it's a little apart, so I can get it going.
Yeah,
I think that'd be tasty good.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Done. We're gonna make that happen. I think you've got an extra bottle of Mellow Corn that you'll even throw my way.
I absolutely will. Literally throw it at you your way.
Throw it at me on the way out tonight.
So, for the price point, I understand the hype, and bartenders need something that they can all gather around and raise up and say this is their drink of choice. It's kind of that underdog. It's cheap. It's like the everyday drinking man's whiskey.
It's
It's not
nice.
stellar. It's nice. It's adequate.
All
It's
right. How many
acceptable.
sips have you had? We've got the 3-sip
2.
rule on this. So I think the second sip, even sweeter, even creamier.
There is still an ethanol. There's an ethanol backbone
That's corn whiskey.
that is there. That's not going away.
That's corn whiskey.
I get that, but I don't appreciate it. I don't like it. Like that, it has this ethanol bite that I don't want to sit here and sip this on the back porch smoking a cigar.
Oh, I would not put a cigar with this.
No.
Never in a million years.
What do
This
you
is
put with
not
this then?
complimentary.
What is the scenario where I'm just drinking this? Because I don't
Summertime.
want more than one of this.
Summertime.
With a cube, you think? Cube it up?
Sure. I wouldn't mind throwing an ice cube in this. I wouldn't mind
Cubed. Challenge accepted.
I wouldn't mind, you know what? I bet you making John Daly's with this. Well, John Daly is vodka, but I wouldn't mind
So-
doing a little iced tea
Heaven Hill.
and bourbon. I think
Pardon
that'd be
me.
I think
They
that'd be
listed
good.
some beverages here.
Oh, a bee's knees. Yeah, that's a good one.
Horse's Neck Boulevardier, the Evans Sidecar, Bee's Knees.
I think a bee's knees would be good. A bee's knees is essentially a penicillin, but with bourbon.
The
or whiskey.
Bernheim Buck. His name's Buck, and he's here to party. Kentucky Jewel, Room Temperature Manhattan, Kneecap by Megan Dorman. Very specific there, Megan. You must know somebody at Heaven Hill. Gold Rush, Old Fashioned Manhattan, Smash and Grab, Forbidden Sour, Mint Jewel, the Old Pal, Bourbon and Branch, Golden Derby. That sounds
A Kentucky
yeah,
mule.
very
That would
appropriate.
also
A
be
Kentucky
delightful.
Mule. There you go.
A mule, a little. I think this with ginger.
Uncle
would be
P, what's going on?
Hey, Uncle
What is
P.
going on?
good. Yeah, this and ginger would also be delightful. I think there's a lot of things that you could do with this.
Ginger, you hit the nail on the
Yeah, a
head.
little ginger. I saw that mule, right? And I'm like, oh
Verner's.
yeah, a little mellow corn and Verner's. Oh, complimentary.
The cube helps.
What does it do?
It adds a little bit more of a caramel corn, like a sweet corn flavor. And it kind of pushes back the ethanol heat with that cube in there. And I don't get that kind of bitterness with the ethanol peppery, like a white pepper ethanol bite. And the corn, they don't mesh, but when you cube it, corn comes more to the forefront, ethanol
Nice.
sits back, and the pepper sits back.
I also feel like this would be a good whiskey to use in
Fight
tiki
me,
drinks.
fellow whiskey reviewers, on this review.
Oh,
This would be
oh.
good. What do you mean, like, what kind of tiki drink, though? Because that worries me, right? Because sometimes those are so kind of sickly sweet and syrupy. Like, you ride a fine line with 80 proof, I think.
Correct, but you're talking about the ethanol bite that is,
Yeah.
even with this 80 proof, you're getting this big ethanol bite, right? And I think one of the things that I don't like when I'm having a tiki cocktail that has bourbon in it is I'm usually, the bourbon's lost for me. And I think 3 Dots and a Dash and Navy Grog.
Zombie.
I don't think it's in a zombie.
Zombie.
But it gets lost. And I think if you have the
Just wanted
mellow
to sing
corn,
zombie.
huh, very nice. Cranberry.
All right, put our serious faces back on,
Hey.
BJ. All right.
I just
I
think-
like your grog. No, your Navy grog.
Right,
I think you
because
kind of hit the nail on the
then
head
you're not
there.
losing that ethanol, that very prominent corn, as you were putting it, that
Yeah.
very whiskey prevalent flavor. I don't think it gets muddled in the mix of a good tiki drink, and I think that mellow corn could be an excellent recipe variant in your tiki cocktail, where whiskey is called for.
Yeah, I get. I totally
You see
get
where
where
I'm
you're
coming
coming
from? Okay. I'm not going to die
We're
on
on the
that.
same
I'm not
page
dying on
tonight.
that hill.
Don't die on that hill. I still don't think it's amazing under Fernet and bartenders and the relationship of that. I totally understand. It's unique New York. It tastes good. It just, I think, well, I guess that's debatable, right? For there's nothing like a Fernet and Coke is just, I think, spectacular. I just like that herbal medicinal liqueurs. Like some of those Amaros are right up my alley. And I know they're so polarizing. And then now the counter argument is, well, you like all that shit. Why don't you like mellow corn? I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's
okay.
very unique.
You win.
Right? We're gonna do
That's the
something.
great thing about
I'm
opinions.
gonna do something with it.
To each his own. What are you?
Everybody's got one.
That too.
All right. Well, I don't think that,
I don't want to
we've
rate
scored
this.
Yeah,
I don't want to
wouldn't rate
score
this.
it. If you guys go back into our archives, into the annals of the Barrel Buddies past, you will find the Mellow Corn review.
This is a much
and my
easier,
review still stands.
I think this is
My-
a much
my
easier
rating.
whiskey to get into, and I would argue that I think I've changed your review. I think your review got better.
I would agree with you. I was just going to say that, and I would say that we have more refined palates now, and I would even take it a step further and say, with what we know now and what we've tasted probably since we had the last Mellow Corn, it does go up a couple notches on the ladder, a couple rungs.
Well, we got some news stories for you.
Oh, we got some great news. There's a lot going on in
on.
the new world of news.
We picked 3 for you. Listen, there's a lot. If you're following anything,
and there's actually, it's not great news. Some of it's really devastating,
sad, but that's why we got to bring it to you.
Yeah.
We're gonna start. Yeah, we got 2 things and then one that we're just gonna laugh about. But we're gonna start with news story number 1. This took place back on February 11th. This was reported in some local Tennessee news stations. But our friends down in Lynchburg, the dry county of Lynchburg,
Daniels,
Tennessee,
you say? Lynchburg lemonade?
Daniels, we're happy to report there were no injuries with this one, but back in Tract 2 on the Brown Foreman owned Jack Daniels site, we're sad to report that barrel house number 2-15, old number 107, constructed back in the late 1960s, partially collapsed.
Whoa.
Thankfully, only 3,000 barrels were impacted. This is a barrel house that can hold up to 19,000 barrels, but at the time was only holding about 3,000. There's no reason given for the collapse of this barrel house, and nobody actually knew that it had happened, except for that the fire suppression system that is there in the
that alerted
they had an
authorities.
active water flow, and that's what alerted everybody on the property that there was a problem. They thought there was a fire, so they went back there to find that the barrel house had partially collapsed, setting off the fire suppression system. And so unfortunately they lost old barrel house number 107 2
Wait, they lost like the entire warehouse collapsed?
Partially collapsed. Do you have a picture we could bring up? I think we've got a picture.
I'm really involved here with this, Dickel.
I'm surprised. Can I just call you out? I'm surprised that you poured yourself a pour of Dickel Barrel Select.
Well, I haven't had it and I don't remember when, so that's why.
We did all that Dickel, I think, 2 years ago.
Our friends over here at WKRN.
There it is, WKRN local out of.
Let's see if we have a Pichu.
I know
here.
we do.
Oh wow! Hold on, just a moment.
We're really prepared for this.
No way! This isn't it, is it? No, that was in 2018. I was like, that's more than 3,000 barrels.
No. No, the picture that we've seen, it is it's only a partial collapse. I think that's it.
Oh, this is the one. I don't know where this picture. So Bottle Raiders, a shout out to our friends at Bottle Raiders.
Hey, Bottle Raiders. Thanks for helping us share out this photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
okay,
the picture.
All right, let me share this out here. 1 second.
That's the picture I've seen.
1 second.
For all you
can you guys see that in the chat?
There you go.
There we go. Okay. So there it is. So
partial collapse, a back corner of the barrel house.
Yeah, so a back corner. So as I'm sure all of you can guess,
Tennessee Squires.
No, it did not burst into flames, Uncle P.
No,
by the fire suppression system.
No, what happened is the fire suppression.
So an entire wood warehouse collapsed. Just spontaneously burst into flames.
Poof. Oh God!
No, that's actually like really dangerous because I'm sure that it's flammable. It's got to be.
It
flammable.
is, and so probably
like
knowing
fumes?
a little something about fire suppression systems, it probably is a dry system, meaning those pipes are not charged with water. Instead, they're charged with air. And so when this broke, those pipes and the air pressure system inside of them lost the air pressure, causing them to fill with water. So there's probably all this water that started spewing out as well. So in addition to broken barrels, now you have a charged fire water
Preston,
suppression.
you are reading my mind, Preston. I was just going to say that.
Please share with the group.
So since whiskey is dead, let's be honest here, friends.
It's definitely a saturated market.
Just as we called beer was dead when it collapsed, whiskey has collapsed. You're going to see a trend now in whiskey. The first thing that they do is try to raise prices on us to make up for the lower sales. They've done that. They've kind of exhausted that to where buyers of whiskey now have just kind of buyer's remorse and buyer's fatigue, where
that's a good way to put it.
A lot of us are just not buying whiskey anymore. I have not bought a bottle of whiskey in months. Complete full disclosure. That sounds embarrassing for the barrel buddies, but a whiskey bottle?
There hasn't been a need.
There hasn't been a need. Well, obviously, you guys will look behind us, right? But typically, even during the boom, we were buying bottles weekly. Every couple of weeks.
Yeah, multiple bottles, plural.
Yeah.
Weekly.
All of us.
Weekly.
All of us.
To open, trade, share, try. It was hard to keep up with.
So then they increase prices. Everybody's like, you know what? The bean counters are like, step number 1, see? Raise the prices. And we've all seen that now because prices are absolutely flippin' friggin' astronomical.
Yep.
Anywhere you go.
That's a fact.
And what does that do to consumers? It makes us want to buy less.
Drives down. Yep, drives down.
So demand is down, price is up. So what does that mean? Well, bean counters, let's rope in the marketers and start coming up with some goofy ideas for bottles. And
are we going to get some orphan barrels?
You're going to start seeing some limited editions drop. We've talked about limited editions.
Are we going to get 2-15 orphan barrels?
Oh, you're going to get collapsed warehouse, Jack Daniels, Coy Hill. We took all the collapsed barrels and sent them over to Coy Hill. And they spent 30 days in Coy Hill, and we are bottling it for you as a single barrel limited edition.
These are the barrel proof saved barrels.
$179.99 for a 300 milliliter bottle.
100%. Yep. These were saved.
Stop carrying them. I was like,
these were saved. 100%.
Yeah. In similar EHT collapsed warehouse fashion, what is it? Tornado Survivor. Yeah. So
100%.
Do you see it? Do you see it?
Yeah. Listen, we're already seeing if you're keeping
Blue Note. Shout out to Blue Note, by the way, but they kept prices reasonable.
They did with those orphaned barrels. Yes, and they were very good. They were well worth it. But those were only $60.
I know they didn't jump the shark. Shout out to our friends at Blue Note.
That was a good Tennessee Memphis.
Fantastic, and you guys knocked it out of the park with that honey cask that they just recently did. Holy mackerel!
Can't say enough good things. I do want to jump in though.
I only got one.
Jack Daniels also did a single barrel change to their single barrel labeling this week. Speaking of the marketing, the marketeering, to make you feel like you're going to get something even more special. Even I fell for it. Was like
more premium. What
is this? What is this? Oh my God! Maybe I have to go buy this. The white label with the blue and gold lettering, and I was like, "What is this ultra premium product that they're releasing?" FOMO. Oh no, it's nothing. All they did was change the label. It's the same private barrel. It's the same very watered down 40%. Alcohol by volume release.
This makes me so angry because we're talking about raising prices, and I've seen so many stupid advertisements for like Rabbit Hole and Heaven's Door and Orphan Barrel and all this dog shit that has always been bad.
But it's coming. You're right.
But it's coming. All like just in your face marketing now, and they have like, the label is made with metal that was taken from the 9/11 towers, and you're just like, what? I'm sorry, that was worse. That was sensitive. We won't go there. But like, it's just stupid kitschy marketing gimmicks that are just trying to take money out of your guys' wallet and giving it to them for an inferior product.
Yeah,
that we have to, as consumers, speak with our wallets. So that means don't get suckered into buying this stuff. Don't go out there and buy this crap. Listen to us.
Please.
We will tell you what to get.
We'll try
We have an
it.
archive of 200 episodes you can watch here almost. We're at episode 188, by the way.
That doesn't seem right. It seems like we've done over 200
No,
episodes.
I'm sure we have. We've lost count so many times, but we're close to 200.
We're going to do a big blowout
Point
for
is,
200.
the point is, watch our shows, watch our archives.
Yeah.
We are all about unbiased, best bang for your buck
100%.
reviews. If you watch the past like 30 to 40 shows, you will get an idea of what we like and what is still out there right now at a decent price. There's plenty of good things.
Oh, 100%.
Like I'm telling you, there's still
it's not going to steal your wallet. And we found this on early on. You remember? It was like, I think episode 15 that we did Lone Whisker. I spent that like wretched $200 on that bottle for like one of 2,000 bottles released for the year.
You spent $200.
And I was like, it's going to be so good. And then it was so terrible. One of 2,000 bottles released for the year.
Friends,
awful.
Without even having to go back into the archives, a couple brands that come to mind. The Jack Daniel's single barrels are still crushing it. Whether it's the run-of-the-mill straight whiskey or the rye. Fan-frickin-tastic, and they're only like $60. Number 2, good old Wild Turkey. Wild Turkey Rare Breed is not going to disappoint you. I want bourbon or the rye.
Can I jump in? I have to toot my own horn. Do you know that we were quoted by some AI shill?
I love this.
Yeah, we got quoted several times by some AI article creator.
Oh yeah, because all of our YouTube videos are now in like the AI hive mind.
about budget whiskeys under $30.
Oh,
and we've talked about how Wild Turkey 101 is such a value many times that there's like 5 articles out there that quote you and I as saying it's like the biggest bang for your buck whiskey.
Absolutely.
I did a quick search and I found us and I was like oh, look, we're quoted in this article. Who quoted us? It was just an AI article.
If you're strapped for cash,
but it's true. It's really good.
Payday Friday. And you're like, I need a bottle to get me through the week. I need a bottle for a party weekend. I need a bottle to take to a party. Those previously listed are all solid. You cannot go wrong with any of those. And they're still affordable. So shout out to Wild Turkey. Shout out to Jack Daniel's. Thank you for not jumping the shark. Thank you for keeping prices affordable. And even this was a $30 bottle. The Jimmy Russell anniversary bottle at Costco was $30.
Solid pick.
And it was super solid.
This was our Thanksgiving pick, and it was a solid.
Like, don't get me wrong, it's not a $500 bottle of whatever. It's a great value. It is a great. You're spending your money in the right way. Don't go and get suckered into these awful marketing gimmicks by Whistle Pig and Orphan Barrel and Heaven's Door and Compass Box. And I know that's Scotch,
but I want the Pig Viper edition.
BS. There is so much BS out there, guys. Even Elijah Craig, I'm going to give you guys a little bit because I know obviously Elijah Craig is watching us.
We shill for them a lot. I mean, we don't.
You guys have kind of jumped the shark with your barrel proof pricing.
Oh.
And then you made the stupidest decision on the planet and you do Toasted Barrel, single barrel. Like, what are you thinking? Toasted Barrel was the biggest sham and failure of Elijah Craig.
Not good.
And you decide to ramp it up. What are you guys thinking? Stop relying on AI for your marketing ideas. The rye, garbage.
Terrible. Just saying.
Hashtag into rant.
Hashtag the Barrel Buddies. The last honest whiskey review.
What's our next story? Sorry, we've really. What's our next news story?
We're gonna bring you down, Jimmy.
Let's bring it down.
Because if you haven't seen it or you've got your head under a rock, there's major flooding taking place in Kentucky right now, and this is very sad. Our hearts go out to
our hearts and prayers to Kentucky.
Yep.
This sucks.
They got hit with hard rains, followed by major tornadoes. And after all of that, the Mother Nature decides to just dump snow on them. As of right now, 14 dead confirmed so far.
Oh my!
So we're really sad. They're taking a beating right now. Many distilleries closed, including Buffalo Trace, who continues to report closures at their distillery. Right now, unknown as to when they and other distilleries out there on the Bourbon Trail are going to reopen. Also unknown if
Terrible.
release and distro is going to be impacted. I know that seems like heartless to say,
Oh, how
hey, in
dare
the face
you.
of all of this,
Oh, but can you
what's this gonna do to
imagine?
business?
Listen, you got secondary flippers that go to that Buffalo Trace gift shop every day because they need to pay rent, and they can't go. They're shaking in their boots.
Well, hopefully they're shaking in their boots, not for that reason, but for other reasons, which is hopefully not
Shout
so
it
bad. But
again.
again, very sad. Keep
Yeah,
them in
that's
your
very
thoughts and prayers.
sad. Yeah,
If
yeah,
you
yeah,
see
yeah.
a way that you
That's
can help
awful.
out
That's awful.
the people of Kentucky at this time, or any of those others, Tennessee's
Yeah.
getting it. The Virginias are getting hit with it right now. So again, if you got family in those
Reach out,
regions,
give them a call,
we-
check in on them.
we hope everything's
first of
okay with
all.
them.
Yeah,
And if you
Check
find
in on
ways that
them.
you can make meaningful grassroots impacts and help out in those regions, please do.
Mm-hmm.
If we find out about this, we will post that here at the Barrel Buddies.
Yeah, and I hope we will we'll look at some follow-up stories potentially by next week to kind of see some of the aftermath. I hate to put it like that, but we'll report back with some developing news because I think this is all happening now over the past couple of days. So we really don't know the extent of damage.
Yeah, we'll keep following up on this.
We'll keep following this and let you guys know what happens by next week.
In other ways that you support,
And that was a real buzzkill. So do we have an article that will
this is an interesting one
that will lift the spirits?
Also kind of a buzzkill, but very interesting. In an effort to support the recent fires,
this isn't a buzzkill. This is hilarious.
In a way, in a recent effort to support those, Sazerac.
No, the effort is commendable.
The effort is commendable.
I take it back, but the story is kind of funny.
Sazerac had put up a Pappy Van Winkle 15-year barrel.
That's a BFD, by
with
the way.
Pappy in it.
Yeah, like
up for auction.
Think about this. Pappy 15 barrel. That gives you what, 100 and let's just round up 150.
Yeah, it's about 150
bottles.
40 to 150 bottles.
So Pappy 15, you could probably get what,